Welcome to the final lesson of the series, and this one is different. You've spent 11 lessons learning what Nginx does. Now we're going to talk about how to actually ship changes to it without taking your site down. 4 disciplines anchor everything that follows. Always test your config with Nginx. Reload gracefully instead of restarting, swap configs atomically, and keep a rollback ready. That's the line between knowing Nginx and operating it. Each of these 4 habits exists because someone, somewhere, took down production by skipping it. Habit 1. Nginx catches roughly 90% of broken deploys before they ever touch a running process. Habit 2. Reload is graceful, restart is brutal. Reload unless you're upgrading the binary itself. Habit 3. Sites available with symlinks gives you atomic enable, disable, and rollback. And habit 4. Copy the config to a .back before every single change, so your undo is always 30 seconds away. Those 4 habits live inside a bigger pattern, a 5-stage loop that every safe change runs through. Test catches the syntax errors. Stage puts the new config in place with a symlink. Deploy is the graceful reload itself. Verify is where you actually look. Curl the endpoints, tail the error log. And rollback is the safety net that gets you back to a known good state in 30 seconds. The discipline isn't memorizing config. It's never skipping a stage. Let's start with the 2 commands you'll type more than any others. Nginx parses your config and tells you before anything goes live whether it's valid. If it says failed, you stop. You don't reload a broken config into a running server. And when it passes, you reload, never restart. Reload spawns new workers with the new config while old workers finish their in-flight requests. 0 dropped connections, chain them together, Nginx, and system cull reload Nginx, and let it become muscle memory. Now, where do those configs actually live? On Debian and Ubuntu, the convention is 2 directories. Sites Available holds every config you've ever written, active or not, and Sites Enabled holds symlinks to the ones Nginx should actually load. Enabling a site is a single LNS. Disabling is RM on the symlink, never the file itself, followed by your test and reload. The config stays on disk, ready to relink the moment you need it back. That's your atomic swap, and that's your rollback. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Nginx can pass, and your site can still break. A back-end port changed, a cert path moved, a regex matches something you didn't expect, config valid, behavior wrong. So before you touch anything, copy the file with a time-stamped suffix. Disk is cheap, outages aren't. Then make your change, test, reload, and verify with a curl and a tail of the error log. If something looks off, you copy the backup back, reload, and you're restored in 30 seconds, calm enough to actually investigate what went wrong. Let's put it all together with a real change, adding a new host for blog.shop.com. Stage 1, you write the config in Sites Available and test before it's live. Stage 2, you symlink into Sites Enabled, that's your atomic switch, and test again. Stage 3, graceful reload. Stage 4, verify. Curl the new host, tail the error log, and confirm the other sites are still up. And Stage 5 exists because sometimes verify fails. Remove the symlink, reload, and you're back. 90 seconds, main site never blinked. Ever. So why does this loop work? 3 reasons. First, Nginx catches roughly 90% of deploy mistakes in 0.3 of a second. Skipping it because the change feels small is exactly how broken configs go live. Second, reload drains old workers gracefully while restart kills everything mid-request, so reload by default, restart only for binary upgrades. And third, a 4 kilobyte backup costs nothing, but an incident at 2 in the morning costs everyone. That's the discipline that separates careful operators from chaotic ones. That discipline lives in this checklist. 7 steps. Back up, edit small, test, Reload, smoke test the actual path with curl, tail the error log, and if anything looks wrong, copy the backup back and reload, 30 seconds to restore. Print it. Tape it next to your terminal. After about 100 deploys, it becomes muscle memory. But until then, run it explicitly, every single time. Skipping steps is exactly how outages happen. Reading the checklist isn't enough. You need to feel it in your hands. So before we close, 3 drills, each about 10 minutes. First, break a config on purpose with a typo and let Nginx catch it. Second, reload and watch the worker PIDs change while traffic keeps flowing. Third, deploy something genuinely broken, then restore from your backup in under a minute. Do these once, and the muscle memory starts building immediately. Now, the Hall of Shame. 5 mistakes every operator makes at least once. Skipping Nginx on a tiny change and watching a missing semicolon trigger a 502 storm. Editing live config with no backup. Restarting when you should have reloaded. Walking away without a curl and a tail. And batching 10 changes into one reload, then having no idea which one broke it. The fixes aren't clever. They're the habits we just spent this lesson building. One change, tested, reloaded, verified. And that's the course. 13 lessons, from your first VOST to safe production deploys, and you've worked through all of them. You're not someone who's read about Nginx anymore. You're someone who operates it. Test, stage, deploy, verify, rollback. Carry those habits into every config you touch, and the production pages stay quiet. Congratulations, you've earned this one.